What if humanity's celebrated first meeting with aliens was staged? Lieutenant Kate Frost tapped her finger against the metal table. The briefing room felt too cold, too quiet. 5 other officers sat with her, all waiting. No one spoke. The door slid open. General Ward walked in with a data pad. His face looked tight, worried. "What I'm about to share stays in this room," he said. The wall screen lit up with a signal pattern. Numbers and waves pulsed across it. 3 days ago, our deep space array picked this up, Ward said. "It's coming from beyond Pluto." Frost leaned forward. "Another alien signal?" "Yes, but it doesn't match anything from the Centauri." The room went silent. Everyone remembered the day 5 years ago when the Centauri ships appeared over major cities. They brought medicine, technology, and peace. At least that's what the world believed. "This new signal contains warnings," Ward continued. "Our analysts think it's from a different species." He tapped his pad. The screen changed to show the first Centauri landing. The golden ships, the handshakes with world leaders, the gifts. "What if we got it wrong?" Ward asked. "What if first contact was staged?" Frost felt her stomach tighten. "Staged how?" "Like scouts checking our defenses before the real force arrives." The general pulled up classified files. Photos of Centauri technology installed in military bases worldwide. Diagrams of their improvements to Earth's satellite network. "In the last month, we've had 37 system failures at key installations," Ward said. "Always near Centauri tech. Always fixed by their engineers." Frost studied the data. Something caught her eye. "Sir, these original contact records don't match public records." Ward nodded. The landing locations were different. The message content was edited. He looked at each officer in turn. "I'm forming a special team. You'll investigate without alerting the Centauri ambassadors. Lieutenant Frost will lead." The lights flickered. The screen went black, then returned. "That's the 3rd power drop today," someone muttered. Ward handed Frost a secure drive. "Everything we know is here. Your ship leaves for Titan in 6 hours." "We detected something there." As the meeting ended, Frost's comm unit buzzed. A message from Centauri Ambassador Vel requested her presence at their embassy. How did they know about her new assignment? In her quarters, Frost loaded the classified files. The original first contact footage played. The Centauri ships moved differently than in public videos. Their formation looked military, not diplomatic. A document showed discrepancies in translation. The famous first words, "We come in friendship," had actually been, "We come to claim." The floor shook. Alarms blared through the base. Frost grabbed her gear and ran to the corridor. Red emergency lights flashed. Personnel rushed past her. "What's happening?" she asked a security officer. "Defense system malfunction. Missiles nearly launched themselves." Her comm unit buzzed again. "Ambassador Vel, we must speak immediately." Frost stared at the message. The timing wasn't coincidence. She checked the secure drive data again. A pattern emerged in the system failures. They formed a grid across Earth, like mapping points, or targeting coordinates. Her ship would leave for Titan soon. But Frost now wondered if they'd already waited too long. The base shook again. Through a viewport, she saw a Centauri ship descending. Not scheduled, not announced. The truth was clear. The meeting labeled First Contact was a lie. The military transport shuddered as it broke through Titan's thick atmosphere. Frost gripped her seat, knuckles white. The ship's engines strained against the orange haze. "Landing in 3 minutes," the pilot announced. "Visibility poor." Frost checked her oxygen mask and looked at her team. 4 soldiers, 1 scientist. All chosen because they had minimal contact with Centauri technology. "Remember," she said, "we find the signal source and leave. No samples without clearance." The ship landed with a hard jolt. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. "That's not right," the pilot said, tapping screens. "Fuel cells dropping. We didn't use that much on entry." Frost felt a chill. "Run diagnostics. We'll be back in 4 hours." Outside, Titan's surface stretched in endless orange rock. Their suits protected them from the -290-degree cold. Frost checked her tracker. The signal came from a ridge 2 miles north. "Move out," she ordered. They walked in silence. Each step kicked up methane frost. The sky above them looked wrong. Saturn should be visible, but dark clouds blocked it. "Lieutenant," the scientist, Dr. Patel, called out. "Look at this." On a flat rock surface, strange markings formed a perfect circle. Not natural, not human. "How old?" Frost asked. Patel scanned it. "The erosion pattern suggests hundreds of years. Before we reach Titan." Frost's comm unit crackled. "Lieutenant, ship systems failing. Something's draining our power." "Hold position," she replied. "We're continuing to the source." They climbed the ridge. At the top, they froze. A structure sat in the valley below, not Centauri design. This was angular, dark metal, partially buried in the ground. Ancient. "That's impossible," Patel whispered. "No record of this exists." Frost's tracker beeped faster. The signal's coming from inside. They approached cautiously. No doors were visible, but a section of wall had collapsed. They entered through the gap. Inside, the air felt wrong. Their suit sensors showed breathable atmosphere. "This place is powered," Frost said. After all this time, they reached a central chamber. A console pulsed with dim blue light. Symbols scrolled across screens, similar to the markings outside. Patel moved toward it. "This technology predates Centauri arrival by centuries." Frost's comm unit buzzed. "A message from Earth. Centauri requesting access to defense grid for upgrades. Awaiting your report." As she read it, the ship pilot broke in. "Lieutenant, ship systems rebooting on their own. Something's accessing our computers." The console in front of them suddenly brightened. The symbols changed to English text. "They are not friends. They conquered US. You are next." Frost stepped back. "We need to leave. Now." The ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. "Too late," Patel said, pointing to a screen showing Titan's orbit. A massive Centauri ship moved into position above them. Back at their transport, the pilot fought with controls. "Systems locked. I can't override." Frost connected her secure pad to the ship's computer. Lines of code flashed as she tried to break through. "There's a hidden network," she said. "Our systems are linked to something beyond Earth." The ship's radar beeped. Something huge appeared at the edge of the solar system. "What is that?" someone asked. Frost stared at the reading. The object was moving toward Earth, massive and fast. "That," she said, "is the real invasion." The transport's lights died. In the darkness, only the radar screen glowed, tracking the object's path directly toward home. The transport ship limped back to Earth orbit, running on backup power. Frost paced the narrow cabin, checking the radar every 30 seconds. The massive object had vanished from their screens, but she knew it was still coming. "Approaching Earth Defense Station Alpha," the pilot announced. "No response to our hails?" Through the viewport, the orbital platform looked wrong. Its defense cannons pointed down at Earth, not outward to space. "Try emergency channels," Frost ordered. Static filled the speakers. Then a voice broke through. "All stations, this is General Ward. Earth Command compromised. Do not dock at any orbital facility." "Repeat, do not dock." Frost grabbed the comm. "General, this is Frost. We found something on Titan. Ancient tech, non-Centauri. They left us a warning." "Get to Luna Base," Ward replied. "The Centauri have announced a global celebration. They want all defense systems offline for their light show tomorrow." The transmission cut off. Alarms blared through the ship. "Targeting lock," the pilot shouted. "Defense station is targeting us." Frost grabbed the controls. Evasive maneuvers. Head for the dark side of Earth. The ship jerked hard as a beam of energy missed them by meters. The hull temperature spiked. "We can't outrun orbital weapons," the pilot said. "We don't need to," Frost replied. "Just get into Earth's shadow." They dove toward the planet. The blue curve grew larger in the viewport. Behind them, more energy beams fired from the station. "Entering atmosphere in 10 seconds, the pilot said. "Hang on." The ship shook violently. Heat shields glowed red. Warning lights flashed across every panel. "We're coming in too steep," someone shouted. Frost strapped herself in. "Just get us down in one piece." The ship crashed through clouds. Below them, city lights flickered and died in patterns. Entire regions going dark. "Power failures across the continent," Patel said, checking data feeds. "It's happening everywhere." They landed hard on a military airfield. The impact threw Frost against her restraints. Pain shot through her shoulder. The ship's rear section tore away, metal screaming. Outside, soldiers approached with weapons raised. Frost showed her ID through the cracked viewport. They lowered their guns and helped the team out. "Lieutenant Frost," a colonel greeted her. "Command's been trying to reach you. Half our communications are down." Inside the base, chaos ruled. Officers shouted orders. Screens showed news feeds from around the world. Power outages, riots, Centauri ships hovering over major cities. "The Centauri ambassadors are demanding access to our remaining defense systems," the colonel explained. "For protection, they say." Frost connected her secure drive to the base computer. "They're lying. Look at this data from Titan." Before she could open the files, the lights died. Emergency generators hummed to life, casting red shadows across worried faces. A soldier burst into the room. "Sir, orbital defense platforms are firing on our cities." On screens, satellite images showed energy beams striking Earth. Buildings collapsed. Fires spread. "It started," Frost said. The floor shook. Outside, the sky turned bright as day. A massive ship broke through the clouds. Not Centauri design. Angular, dark metal. Like the structure on Titan. A voice spoke directly into Frost's mind. "We are the Vex. The Centauri destroyed our world. We tried to warn you." The base's radar operator shouted over the chaos. Multiple objects emerging from hyperspace. Hundreds of ships at the edge of the solar system. On the main screen, the Centauri ambassador appeared, his friendly face now cold and calculating. "People of Earth," he said, "your true purpose will now be fulfilled." The invasion had begun. The base shook as bombs fell outside. Frost ran through smoke-filled corridors, following the colonel to the command center. Soldiers rushed past them, weapons ready. "The Vex ship is holding position above us," the colonel said. "Not firing. The Centauri are the ones bombing." They reached the command center. Screens showed battles across the globe. Centauri ships deployed ground forces in major cities. Military robots, Earth-built but Centauri-controlled, turned on their human operators. General Ward appeared on the main screen, his face cut and bloody. "Frost, we need to retake the orbital platforms. The Centauri control our own weapons." "How?" Frost asked. "We can't even reach orbit." The floor trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. "The Vex contacted us," Ward said. "They're offering help." A new voice filled the room. Not through speakers, directly in their minds. "We can provide weapons," the Vex said. "Technology to fight the Centauri." Frost felt cold fear. "Why should we trust you?" "The Centauri conquered our world 300 years ago. We were like you, trusting, open. We lost everything." On a side screen, satellite images showed the Centauri invasion fleet approaching Earth. Hundreds of ships, far more advanced than anything humanity had. "We don't have a choice," the colonel said. The Vex ship landed outside the base. Frost led a team to meet them. The air smelled of burning fuel and ozone. The sky glowed red from distant fires. The Vex vessel opened. The aliens emerged, tall, gray-skinned beings with 4 arms. They carried metal cases, weapons that can penetrate Centauri shields, the lead Vex explained, handing a case to Frost. And this data core will help you access their network. Back in the command center, Dr. Patel connected the Vex core to Earth systems. The Centauri built backdoors into everything, Patel said. But this shows us how to use those same doors against them. Frost studied the battle maps. We need to split up. One team to retake an orbital platform. Another to disable the ground control center. I'll lead the space mission, the colonel said. Frost nodded. I'll take the ground team. They moved quickly. The Vex provided a small transport that could evade Centauri detection. The colonel's team launched toward the nearest orbital platform. Frost's team drove through burning streets toward the Centauri embassy. Buildings collapsed around them. People ran in panic. Military robots marched in formation, firing at anything that moved. The embassy is the control hub, Frost told her team. We shut it down. We break their hold on our defense systems. They approached the embassy, a gleaming tower untouched by the destruction around it. Centauri guards patrolled the perimeter. Frost raised the Vex weapon. It hummed with strange energy. She fired at a guard. The beam cut through its shield, like it wasn't there. Move in, she ordered. They fought their way inside. The Vex weapons gave them an edge, but the Centauri had numbers. 2 of Frost's team fell. She kept pushing forward, up to the control center. Inside, screens showed the global attack. A large display tracked the invasion fleet, now entering Earth orbit. Frost connected the Vex data core to the Centauri system. Patel guided her through the comlink. I'm in, Frost said. I can see their network. It's huge. Find the defense grid controls, Patel replied. As Frost worked, a hidden door opened. Ambassador Vel entered, no longer wearing his human-friendly face. His true form was insectoid, cold. You cannot stop what has begun, Vel said. Your planet is already ours. Just as the Vex world was, Frost aimed her weapon. Why Earth? Why us? Resources, labor. Your water alone is worth 10 worlds to us. On the screens, Frost saw the colonel's team reach the orbital platform. They were fighting to retake control. You made one mistake, Frost said to Vel. You left the back doors open? She pressed the final command. The network connection reversed. For a moment, Frost saw everything. The entire Centauri plan. Their conquest of the Vex. Their plans for Earth. And a way to use their own network against them. Frost's fingers flew across the control panel. The Centauri network opened before her like a map. She found what she needed, the command protocols for their ships. Ambassador Vel lunged at her. She dodged, his clawed hand missing her face by inches. The Vex weapon hummed as she fired. Vel fell back, wounded but still moving. The colonel's team has control of Platform 3, Patel's voice said through her calm. Redirecting defense cannons now. On the screens, orbital weapons turned away from Earth. They aimed at the Centauri fleet instead. Energy beams cut through the first line of invasion ships. Vel hissed. It changes nothing. Our numbers are too great. Frost kept working. The backdoor access spread through the Centauri network. Ship after ship showed connection status. Now, she said into her comm. Across Earth, military teams executed the coordinated attack. They used the Vex data to send shutdown commands through the Centauri's own system. Robots froze mid-step. Centauri weapons lost power. The embassy shook. Through the windows, Frost saw Vex ships engaging the Centauri in the sky above. They were outnumbered 10-1, but their weapons cut through Centauri's shields. The Vex ships are forming a blockade, Patel reported. They're trying to hold back the main invasion force. Frost sent the final command string. Across the Centauri fleet, ship systems began to fail. Engines died. Weapons powered down. Vel struggled to stand. You think this is victory? We will return. We always return. The screens showed Vex ships ramming the largest Centauri vessels, sacrificing themselves to break the invasion line. Why help us? Frost asked the Vex through the mental link. Why now? We watched your world for centuries, came the reply. We chose not to interfere. That was our mistake with our own world. We will not repeat it. The last Vex ship drove itself into the Centauri command vessel. The explosion lit up Earth's orbit like a new sun. 3 days later, Frost stood in what remained of the Pentagon. The room was filled with military leaders from around the world. Maps showed the damage. Major cities destroyed, billions dead, infrastructure in ruins. The Centauri are retreating, General Ward said. But our satellites detect more ships coming from nearby star systems. Frost looked at the data from the Centauri network. They've conquered 17 worlds before us. They won't stop. What do we do? Someone asked. Hide? Rebuild our defenses? Take the fight to them? The room fell silent. The choice would shape humanity's future. The Vex knew about Earth for centuries, Frost said. They chose not to interfere. They let each world make its own path. And they were conquered for it, Ward replied. Frost touched the Vex data core. It still held secrets, technologies beyond human understanding. We have a choice, she said. Isolation or expansion? Peace or preparation for the next war? The debate continued into the night. No easy answers. No clear path. In her quarters later, Frost reviewed the Centauri star charts. Their empire stretched across hundreds of light years. Earth was just one target among many. Her comm unit activated on its own. A signal, weak and distant. Not Centauri. Not Vex. The message was simple. They come in cycles. They have taken our worlds too. We can help each other. Frost stared at the coordinates. Another civilization reaching out from the darkness. The war wasn't over. It had barely begun.